What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Ronnie Pugs back again with another Spider-Man PS4 related video for you guys. And it's been a pretty busy Monday at the time of recording this. I just finished recording the 3K sub special that should be up by the time this video releases tomorrow. And we are supposed to be getting a new Far From Home trailer today, so it has been a busy morning in the Spider-Man world. But today's video has to do with some recently released test footage for Marvel Spider-Man coming from a blog post from one of the individuals involved with Spider-Man PS4's development, who I believe goes by the name of John Mora. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Although the blog post itself does not have an author, John Mora is the name that I found associated with this blog. I have linked the blog post down below in case anyone wants to check it out in full. There are a lot of interesting pieces of information such as concept art for the NYPD as well as the fire department with what the original HUD and user interface looked like. But what we will be discussing in today's video involves the two suits featured within this blog post as well as my thoughts on the user interface within the post and how we can still see hints of one of these costumes being featured within the final game. Beginning with the two suits featured in this blog post, we do get an official screenshot of what the early suit selection menu looked like, and although it is an interesting design, I do prefer the final suit selection screen opposed to this one. However, I will say that the early design would have been a solid choice for the game. In this selection screen, we see that the original name for the advanced suit was actually Spider-Man 25, which makes sense because I believe the Spider-Man in this universe is either 23 or 25, but I'm leaning more on the 23 side, although I could be wrong. And below the advanced suit, we see two previews for other suits that were available during the early build of the game, which happened to be a black and white variant of the advanced suit, as well as a Miles Morales variant of the advanced suit. So at a time, it does seem like Insomniac was considering putting these two advanced suit variants in-game. However, I can understand why they were cut for the final product, since they would have been saved for story reasons, since that seems to be everyone's favorite excuse when it comes to these costumes. But like I've said in another video and even before the game came out, none of the NPCs in-game care about what costume you have on, and in a sense, the player is the only one seeing Spider-Man in another suit besides the canon ones. I do wish we could have seen the full build for these costumes, since I personally think the advanced suit featured in this test footage looks better than the final product. The thing I don't like about the final advanced suit is the shade of red that they use for the costume. It's almost like a reddish orange with more on the orange side opposed to red. I would have liked to see this version in the final game. I especially like how the Miles Morales costume is a painted over variant of the advanced suit, which I do think that idea could be reused for the sequel, especially how Into the Spider-Verse made that a thing for Miles. Now I personally believe these costumes were just used to test the suit selection within game as well as the fast suit change system Insomniac implemented into the game, but at the same time I am having a hard time thinking that these costumes were only used for test footage, since the Miles Morales variant actually looks like Miles' costume from the small preview image we can see. If Insomniac was really just testing these costumes, I do think that the Miles Morales suit would just be a black and red variant of the advanced suit, but looking closely at this costume, we can see that Insomniac added extra detail to it, which raises the question to if these suits were supposed to be for the final product. Also, ever since the gameplay demo for Spider-Man PS4 was released at E3, we have been speculating exactly what suit this Spider-Man figure is wearing when you crawl near one of the windows in-game, and after seeing screenshots from this test footage, I can safely say that I think this figure is wearing the black advanced suit that was featured in the early test footage discussed in today's video. Obviously, cutting the wearable suit from the final product is what is important, but I do think this figure featured in the final product is left over from when the black advanced suit was supposed to be in-game. Briefly before we end the video, I wanted to discuss the user interface featured in these screenshots. I do prefer the final HUD design over what's shown, since I feel like the screen looks too cluttered in the test footage, but I do like how it shows the speed of your swings as well as how much time is left to travel to a location. I do like the way the upgrade tree looks, but I can understand why it was cut. It is very Shattered Dimensions inspired, and maybe Insomniac wanted to separate themselves from other Spider-Man games. So let me know what you guys thought of the video. Do you think we'll see these two suits featured in today's video in the upcoming sequel? And do you think the Spider-Man figure is wearing the black suit discussed in today's video? And as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow my social medias, and I will see you guys again in my next video. #BeGreater.